So DeWanna Bonner is somebody that could have been 50 grand richer, but she decided she wanted to leave the Indiana Fever. That's her choice. It was her choice to be 50 grand poorer at the end of the day. She made that choice. Nobody else made that choice for her.
We just witnessed the most beautiful case of instant karma in WNBA history, as the Indiana Fever not only won their first ever Commissioner's Cup without the so-called veteran leader who abandoned them, but they did it while collecting a massive $500,000 0-cents prize pool that Bonner will never see a penny of.
I don't care what nobody says, bro. She's a quitter. Well, I'm telling you right now, a lot of people is definitely poking fun at her online for missing out on $50,000, bro. Now, if you guys did not notice, the Indiana Fever winning the Commissioner Cup grants each player on the basketball team a $50,000 bonus. And unfortunately, DeWanna Bonner will not receive that same amount of love because, you want to know why? Because she quit the damn team.
This is the story of a player who thought she could quit on her team and somehow come out on top, only to watch from her couch as the Fever shocked the entire basketball world by demolishing the 14-2 Minnesota Lynx in the biggest upset of the season.
If you guys don't know, obviously, DeWanna Bonner was a player for the Fever, and she's currently a player for absolutely nobody. She's currently a player for nobody. She's currently a player for YMCA Basketball Club, where she's getting every team that wants to go and sign Bonner also wants to sign Emma, and Emma's a better player. Emma is the better player. So they straight up, they're out here using DeWanna Bonner as a consolation prize, and until the signing for Emma Messiman is sorted, it does not appear like she's going to be signed by anyone.
While Bonner's somewhere desperately trying to figure out which team will take her next, her former teammates just pocketed between $41,700, 0 cents, and $45,454, 0 cents each in prize money, plus an additional $5,000, 0 cents in cryptocurrency courtesy of Coinbase.
And quite frankly, this has to be the biggest quitting situation in a mighty long time. In a mighty long time, somebody said your front office brought in Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, returned to Sid Coast, and thought there was going to be contenders. They are contenders, bro. They just won the Commissioner Cup. Somebody said DeWanna Bonner is washed up, and me personally, see, this is not getting talked about, right? What's not getting talked about is actually this. How about Ari McDonald being more valuable than DeWanna Bonner? Ari McDonald having a bigger impact on his basketball team than the two-time WNBA champion, Ari McDonald. Than the two-time WNBA champion.
When DeWanna Bonner threw her tantrum and abandoned the Indiana Fever in June, citing that the fit did not work out, nobody could have predicted that her departure would coincide with the team's most historic moment. The Fever's 74-59 demolition of the heavily favored Minnesota Lynx wasn't just a victory. It was a statement that this franchise doesn't need players who can't handle pressure.
The Indiana Fever are sipping the sweet nectar of the Commissioner's Cup. Now, I've been saying that the Fever are formidable, even through the struggles so far this season, Caitlin Clark being out with injury, obviously. That's because the addition of Ari McDonald and the switch with DeWanna Bonner is a big boost for this team. That's because I've seen other trends that point in the right direction. Obviously, Aaliyah Boston is a star. Kelsey Mitchell continues to thrive. They got that production from Natasha Howard that was missing to the tune of Commissioner's Cup MVP. Role players stepped up. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull's been there all season. You put that together with a healthy CC, and I do think the WNBA has to still watch out for the Indiana.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. Picture this: Bonner sitting at home on Tuesday night, probably watching her former team celebrate their first trophy since 2012, knowing that she could have been holding that Commissioner's Cup and cashing that bonus check. Instead, she's fielding calls from agents trying to find her a new home. with her preferred destinations being the Phoenix Mercury or Atlanta Dream, teams that might not even want a player who quits mid-season.
It's kind of funny now, but I know it ain't funny to her because she's been awkwardly quiet. She didn't congratulate the team for whatever reason. And people was definitely poking fun at her. Somebody said, I know DeWanna Bonner sitting at home big mad like, I know she is, bro. I know she hella mad right now. 50K going down the drain. One fan saying missing out on an extra 30K.
The irony is absolutely delicious. Bonner signed a $200,000 zero-cents contract with the Fever, expecting to be a starter and veteran leader for a championship contender. When coach Stephanie White made the obvious decision to bench her after she averaged a pathetic 2.6 points on 2 of 12 shooting in her first 3 starts, Bonner couldn't handle the reality check. He disappeared from the team for 5 straight games, citing personal reasons, which we all know was code for "my feelings are hurt."
She felt like she couldn't fit with the rotations of the team. She's upset that Lexi Hall took her spot. That's the truth. Little blonde girl from next door took her spot. That's what it was. Well, Lexi Hall is a good basketball player. I think she earned that spot, in my opinion, and she's shooting very well from the 3. She's an excellent 3-point shooter this season. She's a sniper this season. And she hustles, she gets rebounds, she gets steals. She puts her heart out.
While Bonner was pouting and planning her exit strategy, the Fever found their real veteran presence in Ari McDonald. And boy, did McDonald make Bonner look even more foolish with her performance in the Commissioner's Cup final. McDonald scored 12 points, grabbed 3 rebounds, recorded 1 steal, and had 2 blocks in 25 minutes of championship basketball. The kind of clutch performance that Bonner never delivered for this team. McDonald's journey makes Bonner's tantrum look even more pathetic.
Let's go, boy. The beast is finally back, man. Somebody that waited patiently and wanted to be here, man. Get that string bean paper clip built as DeWanna Bonner up out of here. That's why you got waived. And we brought back Miss Ari McDonald, who made more of an impact on the hardship deal than your goofy ass did the few games that you played, Goofy. Ari is lit.
Here's a player who was cut by the LA Sparks, signed with the Fever on a hardship contract, got released due to league rules, and was brought back just days before the Commissioner's Cup. Instead of complaining about her role or demanding trades, McDonald seized every opportunity and became a fan favorite with her hustle and determination. The contrast couldn't be more stark. McDonald averaged 11 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals in her initial 3-game stint with the Fever, immediately showing more heart and basketball IQ than Bonner displayed in 9 games. When the Fever needed someone to step up in the biggest game in franchise history, McDonald delivered exactly what Bonner never could: championship-level performance under pressure.
What it is. Ari McDonald, 12 points. She played well as well. 12 points, 2 blocks. 3 rebounds for Ari McDonald, 5 for 6 from the field. Ari McDonald and Sophie Cunningham, from an efficiency standpoint, they had themselves quite the ball game. Sophie Cunningham, 4 for 6 from the field, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line, 13 points, 7 rebounds off the bench for Sophie Cunningham. Stephanie White saw something from Sophie that she didn't like seeing so much from Lexi Hall, and Lexi Hall only played 15 minutes, giving a majority of that time to Sophie Cunningham. At the end of the day,
Let's talk about how massive this upset really was. The Minnesota Lynx entered the Commissioner's Cup final with a 14-2 record, the best in the WNBA, and were expected to cruise past a Fever team that was 8 and missing their superstar. The Lynx had the highest offensive rating in the league and were coming off dominant performances all season long. Everyone, and I mean everyone, predicted the Lynx would handle the Fever easily. Vegas had them favored. Analysts picked Minnesota, and most fans expected a blowout. The Lynx were the defending Commissioner's Cup champions. They had home court advantage at Target Center, and they were facing a Fever team without Caitlin Clark due to a groin injury. But here's where the beautiful irony comes in. The Indiana Fever, playing without their biggest star, showed more heart, determination, and championship DNA than Bonner ever displayed. They trailed by 13 points early but responded with an 18-known run in the second quarter that completely changed the momentum of the game. They held the league's best offense to just 59 points and their lowest scoring output of the season.
But the Indiana Fever go up 9-6 early in the first quarter. The Minnesota Lynx go on a 12-0 run, taking the lead. So maybe this is when they, the Fever, the Lynx dominate the Fever to win the. Maybe that's when they thought it was a good idea, but they didn't realize that Stephanie White called a timeout after that, and the Indiana Fever went on a 14-0 run themselves, took the lead, and didn't look back from that point on. This wasn't the prettiest game, this wasn't the most exciting game, but this was a game that a lot of people wrote the Indiana Fever off. Without Caitlin Clark, a lot of people said the Indiana Fever have absolutely no.
Even injured and unable to play, Caitlin Clark showed more leadership from the bench than Bonner ever did on the court. Clark was there for every timeout, every huddle, every crucial moment. She wasn't pouting about her role or making excuses. She was supporting her teammates and finding ways to contribute even when she couldn't suit up. After the game, Clark took to social media to celebrate her teammates, writing, "My girls did their thing, so proud. LFGG egg," with 6 red heart emojis. This is what real veteran leadership looks like. Putting the team first, celebrating others' success, and finding ways to help even when you're not in the spotlight. The footage of Clark on the sideline during the trophy celebration is particularly telling. She stood with Lexi Hall and Sydney Colson, chatting with Sophie Cunningham, letting her teammates have their moment in the spotlight. She could have pushed to the front, made it about her, but instead chose to celebrate from the background. Compare that to Bonner, who couldn't even show up to games when her feelings got hurt.
You know, some of the other aspects of that, like I said, you had the plays within the game. You had Kelsey Mitchell finding Sophie Cunningham on this play for a big 3 that led to a CC celebration. Cunningham's cut off in the angle. See, there she is. And there's Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham.
Let's talk about the money, because this is where the karma gets even sweeter. The Commissioner's Cup victory came with a $500,000 0 cents prize pool, which works out to roughly $42,000 0 cents per player. Additionally, every player received $5,000 0 cents in cryptocurrency, and the MVP Natasha Howard earned an extra $5,000 0 cents bonus. Bonner, who was making $200,000 0 cents for the entire season, just watched her former teammates pocket nearly a quarter of her annual salary in one night. And here's the kicker. She would have been eligible for that bonus if she hadn't quit on the team. Instead, she's trying to sign somewhere else for the prorated veteran minimum, which is significantly less than what she was making with the Fever. Meanwhile, Ari McDonald, who was re-signed for approximately $53,000 0 cents for the remainder of the season, just earned almost as much in bonus money as her entire contract is worth. She went from being cut by the Sparks to earning championship money in a matter of weeks, all because she had the work ethic and character that Bonner lacked.
And for DeWanna Bonner, that could be an absolute disaster. And like, she's already cost herself, what, 50 grand? Between the guts of 40 grand they make from the Commissioner's Cup and the at least 10 grand she's cost herself from lost salary, from not playing those, from being unemployed for a couple of times. And then for the rest of the year, it's going to cost herself another 50 grand. She's going to cost herself about 100 grand because she didn't think the fit was correct.
The Commissioner's Cup victory isn't just about the trophy or the money. It's about what it means for the Fever's championship aspirations. This team, which many questioned as true title contenders, just proved they can beat the best team in the league without their best player. Despite Bonner's belief she was joining a comfortable retirement home and missing out, the Fever, now 94.1% playoff bound and considered championship threats alongside the Liberty, Aces, and Lynx, proved their championship DNA and ability to win without players who can't handle adversity, relying instead on fighters like McDonald, Howard, Boston, and Mitchell. Rebecca Lopo's assessment of the Fever as a championship contender is validated by their Commissioner's Cup win. The team, abandoned by Bonner, is now poised for a deep playoff run and potential championship. This highlights the WNBA's generational divide. Bitter veterans like Bonner resent Caitlin Clark's league transformation, while players like McDonald embrace the opportunity. Bonner represented everything wrong with the old guard mentality. Players who were comfortable with playing in half-empty arenas and collecting paychecks without the pressure of actually mattering. When Clark arrived and filled every arena, broke television records, and made the WNBA relevant, instead of embracing the opportunity, Bonner saw it as a threat to her comfortable existence. The fact that the Fever won their biggest game without Clark on the court proves that this team has bought into something bigger than individual ego. They're not intimidated by the spotlight. They thrive in it. They don't resent attention. They earn it through their play.
I also don't really believe that. Now, as we know, DeWanna Bonner has not been that productive for the Fever in general. I don't think her departure will change much on the trajectory that we have seen. I think she could have probably been more productive for them later on, but we'll never know.
While the Fever are celebrating their historic victory and positioning themselves for a championship run, Bonner is left scrambling for a new team. Bonner is reportedly eyeing the Phoenix Mercury, or Atlanta Dream, a downgrade from the Fever's championship potential. She's opting for teams without the immediate title chances she left in Indiana. Even if she does sign with one of these teams, she'll be doing so for the veteran minimum, a fraction of what she was making with the Fever, and she'll be watching from afar as her former team makes a playoff run without her, knowing that she could have been part of something historic. The Indiana Fever's Commissioner's Cup victory without DeWanna Bonner is the ultimate vindication for everyone who questioned her character and commitment. It proves that champions are made of different stuff. They don't quit when things get tough. They don't abandon their teammates, and they don't prioritize ego over team success. Natasha Howard, a veteran leader, led the Fever to a Commissioner's Cup MVP victory with 16 points and 12 rebounds, showing true leadership while Bonner was absent. This win signals that the Fever only need players who perform under pressure.
Somebody said, breaking news, DeWanna Bonner somewhere punching the air right now. Fever become the Commissioner Cup champion. Now, somebody said if this the locker room DeWanna Bonner was talking about, I go to war for them. Now, this is some of the stuff that happened. Like,
oh, okay. Yeah.
They was twerking and
well, there she is. Where's Kelsey? Kelsey left. Kelsey! Come on, get on. They said Miss Boston. Please send it to school night. Please. Hell, who said that? Hey, if you're one of my friends and you're on here, comment. Miss you. I don't know if any of my friends are on here. Whoa, bro. Absolutely not. Don't think.
As the confetti fell at Target Center and the Fever players hugged the Commissioner's Cup trophy, one thing became crystal clear. This franchise is better off without DeWanna Bonner. They replaced a quitter with a fighter in Ari McDonald. They proved they can win without Caitlin Clark, and they established themselves as legitimate championship contenders. The most beautiful part of this entire story, Bonner will have to watch from wherever she ends up as the Fever make their playoff run, with the confidence and momentum that comes from winning their first trophy in over a decade. She'll see McDonald thriving in the role she abandoned, she'll watch Clark and Boston continue to develop their championship chemistry, and she'll know that she could have been part of it all. DeWanna Bonner sacrificed her chance at greatness for the comfort of not having her feelings hurt. The Indiana Fever sacrificed everything for a championship, and it's already paying off. That's the difference between champions and quitters, and Tuesday night proved which category each party belongs in. The karma couldn't be more perfect, and the message couldn't be clearer. If you quit on greatness, greatness will leave you behind.